The Middle East awoke on July 31, 2024, to news that shook its already fragile stability. Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, was dead. Killed in a daring raid in the heart of Tehran, Haniyeh's assassination marked a dramatic escalation in the ongoing shadow war between Israel and Iran. The attack, attributed to Israeli operatives by anonymous sources, sent shockwaves through the region and beyond. Haniyeh, a controversial figure both revered and reviled, was a key player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. His death immediately raised questions about potential successors within Hamas and the possibility of retaliatory attacks. Would this be a catalyst for a wider conflict, engulfing the region in a new cycle of violence? Or could it, as some dared to hope, somehow pave the way for a new chapter in the seemingly intractable conflict? The world held its breath, waiting for the inevitable reactions and bracing itself for the aftershocks. The assassination of Haniyeh, a man who had navigated the treacherous currents of Middle Eastern politics for decades, felt like a temblor, its epicenter in Tehran, but its tremors felt across the globe. Details of the raid itself remained shrouded in secrecy. Reports from Tehran spoke of explosions and gunfire erupting near a heavily guarded compound in the early hours of the morning. Iranian state media, initially hesitant, eventually confirmed Haniyeh's death, denouncing the attack as a cowardly act of state terrorism by Israel, while Israel maintained its characteristic silence, refusing to officially confirm or deny involvement. Anonymous sources within the Israeli security apparatus hinted at their satisfaction with the operation's success. The message was clear. Israel was willing to act decisively, even within the heart of its arch-enemy's territory, to eliminate those it deemed a threat to its security. The attack represented a dangerous escalation in the shadow war between Israel and Iran, a conflict waged through proxies and clandestine operations for years. By striking directly at Haniyeh and Tehran, Israel had shattered the unspoken rules of engagement. Iran, already reeling from the attack, vowed swift and decisive retaliation. The specter of a wider conflict, one that could draw in regional and global powers, loomed large. The assassination of Haniyeh sent ripples of shock and concern throughout the international community. World leaders, caught off guard by the audacity of the attack and its potential ramifications, scrambled to formulate responses. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, expressed its concern over the escalation of violence while refraining from explicitly condemning the raid. This measured response, typical of the Biden administration's cautious approach to the region, reflected the complex web of alliances and interests at play. European nations, while condemning the attack and calling for restraint, found themselves walking a diplomatic tightrope. The European Union, long a proponent of a two-state solution, expressed fears that the assassination would further derail any hopes for a negotiated peace. Russia, a key player in the region and a close ally of Iran, condemned the attack in no uncertain terms. The Kremlin called for an immediate international investigation, echoing Iran's accusations of Israeli state-sponsored terrorism. The United Nations, caught in the crossfire of accusations and counter-accusations, called for calm and restraint. The Security Council convened an emergency meeting, but as with many previous crises in the Middle East, the likelihood of any unified and decisive action remained slim. The Middle East, a region already fraught with tension, braces itself for the aftershocks of recent events. Communities are on edge, and governments are scrambling to respond. The uncertainty is palpable, as everyone wonders what the next move will be. Amidst the turmoil, there are glimmers of hope. Efforts for peace continue, even as violence casts a long shadow. Negotiators work tirelessly, believing that dialogue can still prevail. It's a delicate balance, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As we look ahead, the future remains uncertain. The path forward is fraught with challenges, but also opportunities for change. The world watches closely, hoping for a resolution, yet bracing for what might come next. Only time will tell how this chapter unfolds.